Man, that was tough. That was a tough one because I really thought we were going to win that game. Despite how we looked in the first half, through like the first three quarters. I guess I'm talking about offense being the one that was holding us back in this one. Because shout out to the defense. Holding the Bengals, that high-octane offense to 19 points. I know it wasn't completely pretty on that side of the ball either, but 19 points is 19 points. Shout out to the defense there. And they locked up in that second half. Push came to shove in some of those clutch moments, clutch series. They got the Bengals offense off the field, give it back to our offense. So shout out to the defense. But, yeah, even with us looking helter-skelter in the first half, those first three quarters, I really thought we were going to win. How that fourth quarter was going. And I thought if we won, that was going to be big time for us heading into the playoffs. I thought that'd be huge. I think it could have really been the spark that we needed heading into the big dance. Give us that belief back in a way whenever Russ first started for us. In that Jets game, that Giants game, whenever we went on that like 4-0 run with Russ. 5-1 in his first 6 games. We had a belief, man. We had a confidence. We had a swagger to us that we've lost recently. And it would have had all the elements, too, if you think about it. Even if it would have been an ugly win, for sure. It wouldn't have looked pretty, but still, we would have got the clutch quarterback play in the fourth. Russ stepping up. The defense locking up, holding up the Bengals to only 19 points, less than 20 points. Boswell making his field goals. Us getting some of these splash turnovers. It would have had all the elements that we were talking about in the middle of the season as to why we were legitimate contenders, you know? But we lost 19-17. And what did Al Davis, the Raiders owner, say back in the day? Just win, baby. Like, winning covers up a lot. I think we'd have a much better feeling. I think we would have an extra boost of confidence heading into the playoffs if it was 20-19 as opposed to us losing 19-17. But I do think, I mean, there's still little pieces you could take away from this game. One, we definitely didn't look as bad as what we did against the Eagles, Ravens, or Chiefs. We fixed some stuff on defense. We fixed some of those communication issues, obviously. Offense, though, you know what? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Defense did their thing. We at least, it felt like, got that back for the most part. Special teams, Boswell has been steady. You know, we got the turnover on special teams too, but we also gave up a turnover with the Calvin Austin fumble. So that was, I guess, canceled out right there. But I don't know what to think about this offense, man. I don't. It's just like too little, too late. Because we looked good in the fourth quarter. It was more opened up. Russ was cooking. Why aren't we doing that earlier? Like, why aren't we doing what we were doing in the fourth quarter of the whole game? Now, I get it. Some of it's out of necessity because you're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter and you got to start passing the ball. Can't be eating up the clock. But I think that is one of the things we could take away here. One, we might have our defense back. We could maybe have our defense back for the playoffs. It seems like they wrote the ship a little bit. But maybe we could say, let's do more of that fourth quarter stuff the whole game, whether we play the Texans or the Chargers, because that's what we're going to need to be. That's what we're going to need to do in the playoffs to win these games. We can't be too conservative. Maybe we went too far after this 0-3 skid and some of the turnovers we had on offense of just being like, okay, let's not put the ball in harm's way. Let's really try to make sure we have 0 turnovers on offense this game. It's like sometimes if you're airing it out, sometimes if you're taking chances, turnovers are going to happen. Don't be too stupid about it, but like I'd rather be moving the ball at a decent clip. I'd rather be looking like a competent offense because that's what's going to need to happen. You're going to have to take risks. You're going to have to be not this conservative in the playoffs because, listen, even with the defense stepping up and holding the Bengals offense to 19 points, we did get some lucky breaks our way, but also the fact, too, is we're going to be playing teams like this in the playoffs, and I don't think the defense is going to be able to hold Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes if the Bengals somehow sneak in like their offense or Justin Herbert in the chart. I don't think we're going to be able to consistently hold those teams to under 20 points game in and game out. I think it's fair to say maybe we give up 24, 28, almost 30 points in one of these games just because we're playing against really good quarterbacks, really good offenses. So the offense is going to have to pick it up. And they were doing that middle of the season. Russ had the big game against the Bengals the first time around. We were putting up, I think, 30 points on average 3 or 4 games in a row. We had more faith in the offense than the defense at that point. Now it's flipped. I don't know if we should have full faith in the defense. It looks like we're taking a step in the right direction. But now the offense, bro, it's looking like last year. It's looking Canada-esque. I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. But we can't be doing this. Isn't there a reason we got rid of Canada? Isn't there a reason we wanted more from our offense? We're reverting back. That's not a good thing. It's not Canada back there calling the plays. It's Arthur Smith, but it's the same shit. Different year. Same exact shit. Feast or famine on the outside with the deep balls, and we're throwing those on 3rd and long after running it up the middle for a couple yard gains on 1st and 2nd. Predictable play calls. The run game's not there. It's just stale. And then in the 4th quarter, it is literally like a Canada game to a T. Or this game against the Bengals was like a Canada game to a T, where we even had the offense open up in the 4th quarter and, some clutch quarterback play and almost pull out the win with a game-winning drive. Man. So hopefully we learn from this. Arthur Smith, he got to be a little bit more creative. I think this was his worst game yet. You gotta put some faith in Russ in these playoffs. You're gonna have to put the ball in his hands, let him get in the shotgun, because we were doing that with him whenever he first started for us, and that was coming off of that calf injury. You would have assumed he would have been rusty, but we let him operate at I guess just a more open clip than what we're doing right now. And right now is like crunch time. Right now is big time football. So I think we're gonna have to change our mindset or get back to that. When Russ was looking like vintage Russ. Put the ball in his hands. Let's get out of some of these heavy formations. Let's get some 3-4 wide receiver sets out there. Let Russ read it. Let Russ make some quick reads, get the ball out quick. Almost like what Joe Burrow was doing in the first quarter of this game. He was neutralizing some of our pass rush, but when our pass rush was getting there, that definitely helped the secondary. Because, Higgins and Chase, they had theirs, but it could have even been worse if TJ Watt wasn't getting there, if Herbig wasn't getting there, Cam Hayward wasn't deflecting some of these balls on the D-line. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. Most pass deflections for, I don't know if it's just interior defensive linemen or all the guys on the front 7 this year, but he's having one of his best seasons yet at 35, 36. I don't know how old he is exactly, but definitely deserving of an All-Pro. Helps his case for the Hall of Fame as well. How about this? Here's another angle I wanted to take on this game. In Steeler games last year, where Kenny Pickett started and finished, Steelers were 7-2. Games that Russell Wilson started and finished this year in 2024, we're 6-5. I thought you guys told me we had a Kenny Pickett problem. I thought you guys told me this was all on Kenny. We had to run him out of town. And 2, it definitely was a Matt Canada problem. Don't get me wrong with that. But now we got these new coordinators. We got the new quarterbacks. We got a big-time roster turnover, some of these free agent signings. Good draft. Yet, we're still 10-7. And again, if you look at the games that Kenny Pickett started and finished last year, we were 7-2. Games that Russell Wilson started and finished this year, 6-5. End of the day, though, no matter what quarterback was out there last year, the Kenny, Mason, Mitch combo, 10-7 this year. Fields and Russ, 10-7. Bro. And you guys know I'm a Tomlin guy. Yeah, I've defended Tomlin. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a great coach. He's objectively a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. But it's starting to get tough, man, because the common denominator through all this over the last, not even over these last 3-4 years, but the last decade, and you saw the graphic pop up on the broadcast of the playoff success or lack thereof with Tomlin-led Steeler teams over the last 10 years. It's been bad, man. It's been tough. This isn't the standard. We know what the standard is. It's Super Bowl. It's deep playoff runs, and we're making a lot of these different changes. We're pointing fingers at blame at this person, that person, and we're still 10-7. Still 10-7 after all these changes. I don't know if something's got to give from a philosophy standpoint, and particularly offensive philosophy standpoint. We got to get this quarterback right. Maybe it's as easy as just getting the quarterback right. With Mason playing the way that he did last year, with Russ playing the way that he was middle of the season, if you got a guy playing at elite level, that cures a lot for sure. But should we have any faith? Like, if we bring in a new quarterback, like we try to draft a new franchise guy, or if we say we roll with Fields, we say we're going to give you the keys, we're going to try to have you be the franchise with your potential and ceiling, that they'll actually reach their full potential, or they'll reach their highest ceiling here after seeing what happened with KP8 after we drafted him in 2022 as a first-round pick, or the fact that we had Mason chilling here in the system for how many years. Like, it just doesn't seem we've been able to get things right on offense. We just haven't. Whether it is getting the quarterback, or whether it is the philosophy, or the scheme, the foundation that we got here, it's tough, man. It's been tough. It's definitely been tough, and it's something I think you got to get right in today's NFL. You got to have a quarterback. Like, that's just you got to have an offense. You got to have a quarterback. You do. It just feels like we're not trending in the right direction for how we operate as an offense from like a philosophy standpoint, whatever it is, in a way that we could be legitimately competitive in this league. Like, again, you got to have a guy, or you got to have like the structure, the coaching in place that can develop a quarterback into being someone legit, almost like a McVay, a Shanahan, Ben Johnson with the Lions, and O'Connell with the Vikings. The list goes on. LaFleur with the Packers. And we had Canada. We decided to go with Canada. I mean, we had Ben for all these years, so Ben, we had that guy. But then in terms of trying to bring in a coordinator to get the play calling right, to get the offense right, we went with Canada. That was a mistake. And now with Arthur Smith, is he too in line with the conservative approach on offense that I think Tomlin has enabled over the course of how many years, these last however many years, as opposed to maybe just bringing in something fresh, like a whole new approach, something that's a little bit more high octane, more opened up? Now, when we were cooking in the middle of the season, I had no complaints at all, right? But now, what have you done for me lately? We're 0-4, and the offense is reverting backwards. We haven't put up more than 20 points over the last 4 weeks. Like, I don't know. I think this is like a fair assessment to have right now. I'm not saying blow it up or anything. I'm not going that far now, because we still have a playoff game ahead of us. Let's see how that looks, but yeah, bro, it just ain't it right now, man. It seems like same shit, different season. Same shit, different season. And sometimes things do run its course. And it's not necessarily an indictment on, in this case, like the coach or the organization. It's just like sometimes change is needed. Like with the Eagles and Andy Reid. Like, even with them splitting up, the Eagles still a good organization. Obviously, they have succeeded without Andy Reid. And Andy Reid has succeeded without the Eagles. So, maybe we're getting close to that time. Maybe. Or, yeah, maybe all it takes is a spark to happen in the playoffs, us to learn a little bit from this game, and we go on a run. Or maybe it's, depending on what happens in the playoffs. Either way, let's say we re-sign Justin Fields, and he ends up being the guy, and he ends up elevating this offense and reaches his full potential. Maybe that's just simply the answer, Or maybe the answer is getting rid of Arthur Smith and keeping Tomlin here and bringing in like a Kingsbury, or bringing in one of these guys like Ben Johnson. Obviously, Ben Johnson, it's just an example. He's going to be up for head coaching jobs. But something like that, some guy under the McVay tree that's chilling out there, the Shanahan tree that's out there. Maybe that's more the answer. That someone that's just going to bring a completely fresh approach, as opposed to Arthur Smith, who has that Steeler football mentality, the old school ground and pound, play action, take care of the football. Food for thought. Definitely food for thought. Another thing, we could talk about a bunch of this stuff. Sometimes it just comes down to, we lost by 2 points. We lost 19-17. Sometimes it just comes down to catching the ball. Almost going back to like that Eagles game and the Ravens game, really. if Russ don't turn the ball over, if he don't fumble it at the goal line, if he don't throw that shitty pick at the end of the game or in the second half in the Ravens game, maybe we're more in it. Maybe the game flow is different and we win that game. Comes down to like 2 or 3 plays. Eagles game, Najee Harris dropping that toss in the second half whenever we were down 7 points, driving in their zone. You catch that toss, we tie it up or even kick a field goal, keep within a 1-score game. Momentum changes, game flow changes. Who knows what happens? In this one, Pickens catches a couple of these passes. Freiermuth catches that pass in the end. Is it simple that we win? Sometimes it just comes down to that. just catch the ball. Russ's stat line looks a little bit better. Russ maybe has like around 200 yards. He has a game-winning drive at the end. I think we're feeling a little bit different. We're definitely feeling a little bit different coming off a win like that against a Bengals team that everyone's saying deserves to be in the playoffs, right? I think that would have been a damn good win to win 2019 game-winning field goal drive, or maybe if Pickens catches a couple of those passes, we get a touchdown somewhere in that second half. We end up winning like 23-17, something like that. I think we're talking a lot differently right now. I think the vibes are a lot differently, but maybe they shouldn't be because, again, I think there's still some things to take away. Just the fact that we were in this game, we were competitive. I think we looked legit as a defense. Offense, again, I mean, we shouldn't be waiting till the fourth quarter like that. We shouldn't have to wait. But sometimes, if Pickens catches some of those passes, that's a different story too. But I don't like the fact that it is this feast or famine approach. Conservative on first and second down, and then you see a guy one-on-one on the outside, you throw it up. It's a 50-50 ball for a reason. And with Pickens, it's been more than 50-50, but I don't know what the hell that was today. Dropped about 3 or 4 passes. That was bad. I don't, what? I think as weird as it sounds, we're trending in a better direction than what we were these last 3 games. I have more confidence in us going into the playoffs, but to what degree, I don't know. I liked how the defense looked. It looked like the defense might be getting their act together. Damn, it would be really nice to be playing the Texans, man. I could see the Steelers defense feasting on that Texans offense and Stroud. But with Lamar, hey, man, I could see it. I could see it happening. Because the pressure ramps up for the playoffs, man. All the pressure's on Lamar then. We got nothing to lose. No one expects us to win. And with Lamar and his history against the Steelers too, maybe that factors in a little bit. Starting to get healthy at the right time on defense. Obviously, we fixed some communication things, gotten some of our details buttoned up on defense. So, hey, man, watch out. Offense got to play better, though. Offense got to figure it out. Smith got to change his approach up a little bit. Let Russ cook more in the first half. Open it up more. And, yeah, we got to catch the ball. Block a little bit better. But, yeah, I think that's about it, man, for today's post-game report. I don't know what else I got to say here. I think that's it. I think I'll have another show tomorrow. I'll do maybe a day after recap, or I don't know. There's also been some other headlines I think that'd be interesting to talk about. Like Fields was saying he wants to come back. We could talk some Field. I'll do another. I think I'll do another video tomorrow. I think. If not Monday. That's it. All right, 10-7 playoffs. Probably playing Ravens on the road. Why not us though? Why not us? Why can't we beat the Ravens? Defense can keep playing like this. Why not? All right, stay chilling. I'm out of here. Peace.